Hi everyone, hi, good evening, and welcome to Data Structures and Algorithm, guys, Zero to Hero program. And this is day one, guys. Let me check who all have joined today and let me greet them all. Okay, I see Octavio and God's Power. Okay, nice names. Gagandeep, hi, Manisha, hi, IT Guru, hi, Ashind, Bhargavi, Lipu, and Tarun. Okay. And Chandrakant, we have Chandrakant also. We have Akshay, we have Shiva, we have Spandan, Ganesh, Tarun, Manoj, Sushant, Priyanshu, Sanket. Okay. A lot of people are there. Okay. Fatima. Great then. Great guys. Hi everyone, and good evening. Jay, Vinod, Hemant, Akash, and Ilham, and Akshay, Kevin, Akash, Puneet, Hemant. Great then, guys. Great. Like I'm very happy to see you all, and I'm glad that you have shown your presence over the comment section. Actually, okay. So, hi everyone once again, and welcome to Data Structures and Algorithm Zero to Hero program. I hope everyone over here today they are doing absolutely well, and I hope that you would be doing well in future too. So I'll be not taking much time here. I'll be starting our session. We will deep dive into our discussion of data structures and algorithm, guys. Okay, so I'll not take up time upon other things much. So that's it. Like those who have joined right now. So hi to those even. So I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you because I'm going to start today's session and we would be discussing a few stuffs on data structure and algorithm, guys. So as you know, the part this is combined with two part data structures and algorithm, and basically it is more focused towards your placement drives. Actually, if you're going to placement drive and all, yes, surely this is something you should know, and this would be helpful to you actually. Avinash, hi Avinash. Yes, I'm staying in Bhubaneswar. Yep, you are correct. And I'm audible and visible to right. Okay, thank you, Elam. Thank you for that confirmation. So now then, guys. So I have this. I always ask this to all the people. So let's spam this comment box with your favorite emojis, and we will start. Okay, we'll start our session. But let's first spam the comment box with our favorite emojis, and we would actually have it. We would start our discussion. So I may also put something here. I'll also put. So I see some more people have joined in the chat now. So good evening, guys. Good evening and welcome. And as I've said already, this is Data Structure and Algorithm Zero to Hero, and this is day one, guys. This would be a 3 day program. Day one, day 20, 3 days program, and we are going to learn some stuffs which would be very helpful as far as your placement are concerned. Yeah, I see now very wonderful, amazing emojis out there in the comment section. Thank you for responding to that, guys. And yep, it's really amazing that you guys are so much excited. So and I don't want to lose upon that excitement level. And let's start actually with our course, and let's start this data structure algorithm. Okay, I've been seeing here a few people are actually asking which language we'll use. Is it C or is it C++? Is it Java? Is it Python? So let's have actually a vote kind of thing, guys. You choose the language and we will accordingly do that. Okay. Majority wins. So let's say option one C plus. I'll pick up. Actually, let's stick to only two language. One is C plus plus and one is Python. Actually, okay. Because if you know or understand C plus plus, it is fine. You can do it in C. You can also do in Java because same loop structure and all. And Python, as it is a even see it is important to understand the logic. You can do in any language, but yes. So I would just go with a simple vote between C plus plus and Python. So don't spam this way, guys. I won't know actually. So can we have all of you who wants in C plus plus, please put one, and all of you who wants in Python, please put two in the comment. One means Python. Sorry, one means C plus plus. Two means Python. One means C plus plus. Two means Python. Okay. I think we are getting a mixed kind of response. Two. Okay. Initially, I got one, but now I think there are a lot of people with twos out there. Okay, fine, fine, fine. So, see, yeah, that's true. I have already taken in C++, like in earlier classes actually. We can, yep, I see majority people are here with two with Python actually. I'll actually have a blend. Let's try to keep a blend so that everyone will go together and everyone will be on the same page. Okay, put more focus on the logic, and we will see how to code that in C++. Also, how to code that in Python. Okay, I think that makes sense to everyone. Now then, so quick. Let's quickly move on to our discussion. I'll be sharing a screen, guys, and we will have a discussion on that, and then we will talk about basically how to code in Python or how to code in C or sorry C++. Okay. So what I'm trying to share right now is a whiteboard. I hope everyone can see it. Yep. You'll be able to see once it is on the top of the screen. Vinay, yep, can you help us to move the screen to the top? Yeah. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Vinay, for that. So now, guys, I hope everyone is able to see the screen shared. Whatever I have shared, actually, I think you are able to see now. So let's now start. Let's focus on more on the logic part, and then we will see how we can code that in C++, how we can code that in Python. Okay, I'll keep a blend so that everyone present over here will not feel lost out. Okay, I think that will work for everyone. Now then, so the first topic for today, I'm picking up pattern printing, guys. Okay, it actually is a very important part as far as your placement interviews, or I can say your exams, coding exams are concerned. Actually, your screening test. Okay, right, the coding test in your placement, right? This plays a very important role. This pattern printing, actually, they would ask you to print patterns, and not very easy, not very difficult, but yep, kind of average questions would be there. But you should know how to approach some problem. So what I will do here is I would actually start with I will tell you the conventional way how normally people write codes for pattern, right? Okay, but I'll also give you basically what is that, a trick how we can actually approach pattern questions so that we can at least approach, even if we get a difficult pattern question, at least we can approach and print it, right? That's the whole point here. Okay. Python is easy, far better than C++. Yeah, it might be, but I think you might be also aware that most of the code, like competitive coding people, they prefer C++. Actually, okay, fine, no issue. Like there is no comment which language is better, or this language is better, or that language is better. I'm not saying on that. I'm just saying you understand the logic, you can implement it using any language. That's the whole gist. Given that you know the syntax. Now then, so as I said, guys, these courses are planned for your like placement point of view, so that you'll get some help in your placement. So that's why uh, this pattern printing discussion is also included there. Okay, let's start with this pattern question. Actually, the very first pattern, the very first and traditional pattern which we are going to discuss is, you might have already seen this, but yes, this is something important I must do so that you get a hang of this pattern printing actually. Okay, so I have this pattern. We have to print this pattern, guys, right? Okay, this is a output screen, and let's say this is the pattern we have to print actually. Right. Okay. So for this pattern, how do people write in a conventional way? Let's start. Getting echo from your end, yeah, it might be because I'm right now in an empty room, so some bit of echo might be there. But let me check if I can handle it. Okay. Is it fine now? If it is like if the echo level is small, I think that can be compromised. Okay, fine then. Yeah, Manar, exactly. This is for college student, also for them. Also for those who are seeking for placement, for going for placement, right? If you are going to appear for placement and all, yes, this will help you a lot. And also those who are in your colleges, like those who are studying and all, of course, even you would appear for placement, right? So it would help you, and academically also it will help you. Fine. Now then, so let's first see how traditionally this code is solved. Okay, so it is say that, okay, how many rows are there? First of all, guys, I hope you know, whenever there are rows and column involved, we go for nested loops, a loop inside loop, right? Okay, we write loop inside a loop, nested loop. Whenever there is row involved and whenever there is column, I can say when there are row and columns both involved in a thing, then we go for nested loop. Okay, one more thing you should know, understand, you must keep a note of it, that is, the outer loop gives or determines the number of rows and the inner loop determines the number of column. Please remember this, guys, please have a note of it. Okay, please understand this. Outer loop always will decide or will tell you the number of rows, and inner loop, how many times the inner loop will run, that will decide the number of column for each row. Please remember that. Okay, so understood, guys? Number of times the outer loop will run will decide the number of rows, and number of times the inner loop will run will decide the number of column in each row. Now then, as you see here, there are four rows: first row, second row, third row, and fourth row. We have four rows here. In the first row, we have one column. In second row, we have two column. In third row, we have three column. Third row, three column. First row, one column. Second row, two column. Third row, three column. And fourth row, four column. Basically, if you are in a particular row, if you are in a, let's say, ith row, then the column number of column is also I, right? Okay, if you are in ith row, then total number of column is also I. Maximum number of column is I. That's what, right? So how do we do this? So it's very simple. If you go in the conventional way, you'll say, okay, for I equal to, let's say, 1, I less than equal to 4, because 4 rows, right? There are total 4 rows, and I'm writing the outer loop, so outer loop should run for 4 times. I've already said the number of times the outer loop will run, that will decide the number of rows, and the number of times the inner loop will run, that will decide the number of column, right? Okay, so I plus plus. I'll also give you another way to solve this, guy. This is just for starting up, and you might already know this, you might have already coded this, but I'll give you another perspective how to solve this kind of problem, and that will help you actually to solve other complicated patterns. That is my whole point of view here, so that we will be comfortable with the logic building whenever we come across pattern questions. Now, I starts from 1 and I will run for 4 times, obviously, and I plus plus. Then how the number of column would be decided? Fine. J starts from 1, but how many times the loop should run? Obviously, the number of times the loop would run, that is decided upon the condition that we mentioned, right? Okay. How many times in a loop would be there? If you see here, guys, I've already mentioned, in ith row there are I column, right? First row one column, second row total two column, third row three columns, and fourth row four columns. That means this J, the inner loop, should run for I times. If I is 1, J would run one time, so one column. When I is 2, J would run for two times, so two column. Similarly, when I is 4, J would run for four times, so four column. That is how we get the number of column is equal to the number of rows. The total number of column would be equal to the total number of rows, or not total number of rows, you can say the corresponding row where we are right now. Wherever we would be, that particular row number of column would be equal to the number of, not number, the respective row. Okay, so will this be helpful for working professional? Sachita, see, if you are like trying to switch over, or if you want to try over another company and all, and if you are going trying to go for a product based company, yes, they look for DSA. So yeah, you can have any kind of question. You never know that this question won't come. This question, in the sense, pattern question, not exactly this question. This is, I can say, a very easy question, so I don't think anyone will ask this question. I'm picking up this question just to make you understand how it is approached, this kind of question. That's it. Okay, fine. So now then, guys, let's proceed here. So we have this outer loop, inner loop decided, and what we would do in each position like this, I want to print this star. That's all. Okay, I want to print this star. And see, guys, after finishing this inner loop, what does this mean? What is the significance of completion of inner loop? When you finish with the inner loop, that means you are done with one row. Okay, J starts for I equal to 1, let's say, or let's say for I equal to 3. For I equal to 3 means we are in this third row. J would start from 1, J will go till 2 and 3, right? J will go till 3. When J value is 3, it is done, and J values, when J value would be 4, the loop would end, right? Inner loop will end. That means you are done with this entire row, you are done with this third row. What I mean to say in simple language is, whenever the inner loop is finished, you are done with that particular row. You now want to go to the next row. So going to next row means go to the next line. So just print here a slash n to go to the next line, because you are done with that row. Now you should go to the next line. So this is how the traditional approach works, the conventional way works, right? Okay. Now then, let me give you another way, another approach which will actually help you. Now see, what I want to do here is, I'll go with the same pattern actually. I want to assume something here. Okay. Assume that this whole thing is a matrix. Whole thing is a matrix. Assume that this whole thing is a matrix. Why it is behaving this way? Uh, think is behaving weird actually. I'm not able to draw something. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay. Uh, so can you all please imagine this thing with kind of a matrix actually for me? I'm unable to draw it here. Okay, I think we can go to a different page or something. I'll try to do it here. So I have this star here, I have this here, I have this here, and I have finally, yeah, sure. Yeah. So one more row. This is the final row. Right. Okay. So consider this whole thing is a matrix. Okay. I have this. Fine. Now, guys, considering this as a matrix or 2D array, I think you already have worked with 2D arrays and matrices. Now, let's put the indices over here. Let's put the indices over here. So we know that matrix or the 2D array, the index starts from 0. So let's put here 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, first of all, let's focus on this diagonal part. Where are these the stars, this diagonal position, this stars are printed in the diagonal first of all. So what are the positions where the stars are printed? Considering only this diagonal part. Now, what are the position? 0, 0, right? Okay. Then it is 1, 1. Then it is 2, 2. And then it is 3, 3. Okay. We know that the row is decided by, or you can say the loop variable that we take for the outer loop, that is I. And the our loop variable for inner loop we have taken, that is J. We have taken J, right? Okay. And the position where the stars are printed considering this main diagonal, it is, I'm muted. No, I'm not muted. I hope I'm audible to everyone, guys. Please do confirm once. Am I audible to everyone? Please do confirm once, guys. Yes, I'm audible, right? Okay, thanks. Thanks for the confirmation. Now then, yeah. So considering this diagonal, these are the positions 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. This means our condition is I is equal to J, right? Talking about here, this condition is I equal to J, right? Okay. So for this diagonal, I is equal to J. In this case, whenever I is equal to J, we print this star. Then if you consider this part, this lower diagonal part, this one, okay, what is the position here, guys? If you see, it is 1, 0, it is 2, 0, and 2, 1 we have 3, 0, we have 3, 1, and we have 3, 2. If you see here, it is you will always find that I is always greater than J, right? So this two condition, whenever I is equal to J or whenever I is greater than J, we are printing star. So it is very easy. If you consider a 2D array, I'm not asking you to take a 2D array, assume just a 2D array and write the same loop, guys. See what I'm trying to say is, in it, like previously in the previous case, you were focusing on this part, the condition. What exactly would be the condition? How many times the outer loop and inner loop will run, right? Okay, outer loop, it is fine, the number of rows, it is equal to the number of times the outer loop will run, it is equal to the number of rows. But inner loop, see guys, there is no uniformity, right? Okay, you were trying hard to write the condition of inner loop depending on how many column we have in each row. But in this case, I'm asking you, do not get worried about that. Just say how many rows are there, 4 rows, right? So just say I equal to 0, I less than 4. Why I've started with 0? Because I've considered it index as 0. And similarly for j equal to 0, j less than 4, j plus plus. See guys, here I didn't worry about the number of times inner loop and outer loop would run. Basically, I saw here, okay, there are 4 rows and 4 column. So I have written the code accordingly. Here you don't have to worry about the condition basically. Now then, I already have the condition with me where to print star. Where is that? One condition is I equal to J and one condition is I greater than J. So if you combine, guys, if you combine these two conditions, what you will get? If you combine these two conditions, you will get I greater than equal to J, or you can say J less than equal to I. This is the same condition basically whatever we had written previously. So here you write J less than equal to I. If J is less than equal to I, print star. Okay. And here obviously at the end, okay, obviously at the end, like when you are done with the row, you just here print slash n, or I can just say endl. Okay, this can be done. I'll also show you in Python how you can do this. In Python, it would be actually easier than this, but yep. So I think this is another way in which you can solve this problem, guys. This particular pattern, you can also consider this matrix way and print it actually. Okay, so what we learned here, that is, we don't have to worry about the number of rows and number of column, like how many exactly it is. We are just plain simple, we are writing the loop depending on how many rows and column in the matrix we have assumed, and condition we have put there. How we have found the condition here? By looking at the places where the stars are printed. So separately we are finding the condition, guys. Okay, right? Now, I think everyone got hold of the approach we discussed. Basically, we will discuss also one more problem that would help you to understand how we can apply this logic, how we can apply this perspective. Yeah, this code obviously it is not helping you out. You are saying, okay, we had written the same code, like kind of similar code. Basically, we had written less number of line earlier to print the pattern, but now in this approach we are writing actually extra lines. What is the benefit of writing this code? So in the next example, guys, you'll understand what exactly the benefit of this approach. Okay, yeah, it seems that we are writing more line, but yeah, believe me, whenever you get complicated patterns, actually this will help a lot and you have to write less in that case. Okay, just wait for a moment, let's discuss one more problem. And yes, I think some people are waiting for the Python code for this one. Python, it's very easy, guys. If you're talking about the Python version of code, then you say for I in range, you start from 1 and you go till 4, right? So if you want to go till 4, then you have to write 5. I think that you know. I think that you know, everyone. I think that you know. This is the start value. This is the end value. But always the range function will go from start to end minus 1. So if you're putting here 5, so it will, the range value, it would go till 4. So I value will start from 1. It will go to 2. Then it will go to 3. Then it will go to 4. That's it. 4 times it will run. Okay. It is very much simple. What you do is you print this star into I times. Okay, you print this star into I times. So how this code is running, basically, whenever I value is 1, star, it's a string, right? String multiplied by 1, it will be printed once, so 1 star will be printed. Okay, so next, in the next iteration, star is a string, I value would be 2. In the next iteration, star into 2 times star would be printed. So 2 stars would be printed, guys. Okay, in the next iteration, 3 times star would be printed. So whenever you multiply an integer with a string in Python, that string is repeated that many times. Please remember that, Python people, you Python guys, please remember that. Okay, so yeah, with this simple 2 line, we would be done with this pattern actually in Python. But yep, fine, understanding the logic is important actually, guys. Okay, so you can also write this way in Python. If you want to implement this logic, this is also fine, you can also implement. But yep, Python, we have a way more easier way to print this pattern. But yep, anyway guys, we, no one will ask us this particular pattern, so we have to understand complicated pattern, how we can apply the conditions there. Complicated, more complicated patterns question. Let's now discuss the next question here. This, not exactly this, my bad. We have this, we have this. Okay, so we have this pattern, guys. This pattern we have. How do we print this pattern? Who can say? How do we print this pattern? It's again very simple, guys. You again assume that it is a matrix. Do not go for the traditional method. I'll say you what we do in a traditional method of coding. Okay, assume that this is a matrix. Now divide it into rows and column. Okay, so 0 1 2 3, 0 1 2 3. Okay, this is what we have. This is the pattern we have. Same thing, guys. What you do in code, how many rows are there? 4 rows. So you start from 0, you go till 3, right? And you start from 0, you go till 3. Okay, now see, what is the condition here? How do we know that where the stars are printed? Same thing, guys. Please focus on the diagonals first. See the diagonal. What are the positions here? The star, where the stars are printed. What are the position? If I write here, positions are 0 3, right? And 1 2, then 2 1 and 3 0. These are the position, right? What condition you can come up with? What would be the condition? What is the relation between I and j in all these position, guys? In this right diagonal, what is the relation between I and j here? Can anyone please tell me quickly, guys? Quickly, can you all please tell me what would be the condition here? It's very simple. If you see here clearly, it is nothing but I plus j is equal to 3, right? 0 plus 3 is 3, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 0 is also 3. Whenever the question is asking you in terms of n rows and n column, okay, then you put here n minus 1. Okay, please understand that whenever the question would be asking you n number of rows or n number of column, then you put here instead of 3 here, you put n minus 1. It just, I have taken 4 rows actually, that's why I have put 3. But if it is about n rows, then you put there n minus 1. Okay, right? You just have to change there. And okay, the diagonal is part is done. It is I plus j is equal to 3. What about this part? The right diagonal, you can say. Not exactly right diagonal, but this part, yeah. What are the places, guys? What are the positions actually of I and j? 1, 3. Then we have 2, 2. And we have 2, 3. Then we have 3, 1. And we have 3, 2. 3, 2. And then we have 3, 3. So this condition here, it is nothing but I plus j is greater than 3. If you check out, 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 1 is 4, 3 plus 2 is 5, 3 plus 3 is 6. Everything is greater than 3. So if you combine these two, okay, if you combine this and this logic, it is nothing but I plus j is greater than equal to 3. This is your final condition. So you put there, if I plus j is greater than equal to 3, see out star. Now you're done with that row. Like whenever you are done with a row, you just have to go to the next line, right? So you write here and L. There will be no quote actually. My bad. Just write C out and L. Okay. I think it's lagging a bit. That's why I'm unable to write properly. Yeah. And L. Now you are done. This particular thing, logically, like we have found the logic for the position of I and J where the stars are printed. Can if we try this out, if we try to execute this code, okay, if we try to execute this code, so I'll very quickly, I'll take you all to a code blocks actually. Okay, I'll show you there. If I code this particular thing, are we getting the pattern that we have been discussing? Okay, very quickly I'll show you. Yeah, Bina, can we have the screen on the top, please? Can we? Yeah, Bina, are you there? Can we have the screen on the top, please? Just a moment, guys. Vinay will do some magic and we will be able to see the screen. Just give him a minute. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Vinay. Now then, I hope everyone is able to see here. I'm just quickly writing C++ code here. So has include IOStream, okay, using namespace std. Okay. Then we have int main. Right. We have int main. Now what we have to do here? Simple. Whatever we have learned, same thing I'll write. Int I equal to 0, I less than 4 because there were 4 rows and I plus plus. Right. Okay. And the inner loop for int j equal to 0 and j less than 4. 4 columns we had and j plus plus. J plus plus. Okay. Now, if if uh, if I plus j is what was the condition? It was greater than equal to 3, right? Greater than equal to 3. Please print. Okay. And after every star, I want a space, let's say, or let it be. First of all, let me not give any space. And after end of each row, I'll have the endl. But I just want to do the next line, right? After printing every row. Let's see, guys, whether we would get the proper pattern or not. Let's see it. Let's try it. Okay. And let's see if we don't get, then we would look upon the problems that we encountered. So let me just quickly build and run this code. Okay. Yeah, it seems there is no error actually, and I will show you the output very quickly. Just give me a moment. I'm resharing another screen to all of you. Just have a look on the output, guys. Okay, are you able to see the output? Okay. Yeah, somebody please put up the screen. Just a moment, guys. Yeah, Vinay, are you there? Hello. Please, can you put up the screen? Okay, thanks. Yeah. So as you see, guys, we are actually getting this pattern. We are not getting the pattern that we intended actually, right? We are not getting the pattern that we intended. We are getting the previous pattern. And why is that? Why basically we are getting this pattern instead of the pattern that we discussed? The condition and all, whatever we have found, that was entirely correct. That was correct. But what we are like, why we are getting actually this pattern? Let's discuss that out, why we are actually getting the old pattern and not the new pattern, even if the condition that we have found out is correct. Okay, the problem is, guys, we didn't notice the we didn't take care of the behavior of the cursor actually, how the cursor prints, how the cursor moves actually. So always the cursor moves from left to right and top to bottom, right? So unless you give spaces on the left, the cursor will not move to right side. Okay, we need spaces over here. We need spaces over here actually. See this. Okay. uh Fine. Yeah, so we need spaces over here, guys. What is happening? Just give me a moment, guys. Now then, just give me a moment. I hope everyone is able to see the screen. Yeah, now it is fine. See, guys, yeah. So for what I'm saying is, cursor will move, like will start from here. Cursor would be here on the left side, right? This is your screen, let's say output screen. So cursor would be here. Unless you move this cursor to right, it won't move. It would be there. What we are doing, we are just skipping places. We are just skipping the conditions, and we are just printing star. Whenever we are printing star, the star would be printed here because the cursor is not shifted actually. If you want to print star here, then you need to print space. By printing space, you need to move the cursor to the right side. So in conventional way, what people do is, people write another loop. People write one more loop just to have a control on the number of spaces would be printed. They write one more loop, extra loop, which will control the number of spaces. First time it will print 3 spaces, second time it will print 2 spaces, third time it will print 1 space, and then 0 space. So they write one more loop actually. But here in this way, guys, we won't need that loop, another loop, to control the number of spaces. Okay, it's very easy. What you just have to do is, you just write here else see out space. See, you are actually saving one loop. In the traditional method, we have to write one more loop which will control the number of spaces. Okay, just to print like spaces beforehand, we write one more loop which will print first line. For the first row, it will print 3 spaces. For the second row, it will print 2 spaces. For the third row, it will print 1 space. For the fourth row, it will print 0 space. So one more loop we have been writing in the conventional way. But if you use this approach, using this way, you don't have to write that loop, extra loop, because we have actually put up this condition. So whenever I plus j would be greater than equal to 3, you print star. Whenever the condition is not met, you print space. So automatically the cursor would be moved, would be shifted. Done. Okay, right? Is this clear, guys? Is this part clear? Did you understand how this approach is beneficial actually? how this approach is beneficial. Is this clear to all of you? In Python you can say, okay, even in Python you can also use this approach, the same approach. If you want me to write a Python code for you, this particular example, it's again very easy. Yeah, if you want me to write in Python, so I'll write it for you. Just give me a moment. For that, I'll be actually showing you Google Colab maybe. Yeah, let's write the code in Google Colab and I'll show you there. How do we do this? So I'll share this Google Colab screen. Just give me a moment. I'm sharing you this Colab screen, and see guys, logic, I'll follow the same logic because I don't want to be different. I'll use the same logic to print this. I'm just showing how to write in C++, how to write in Python. That's it. I'm not changing a logic at all. Excuse me. Okay. So I'll just create a new notebook. Just give me a moment. I think it is loading up. Yeah. So I'll just change the name. I'll just say DSA. Okay. I'm talking about your patterns. Okay. What pattern I'm trying to print here? I'm trying to print here this. Okay. Now then, and then this pattern, right? I want to print. Let me add one more pattern, one more row also. No issue, right? So how many rows are there here basically? Why exactly it printed this way, I'm not very sure, but yeah, I think you can see the pattern that I'm trying to print here. So I'm trying to print this pattern. Actually, there are 5 rows, so let's implement the same way, guys. So I need I in range 0 comma 0 1 2 3 4 rows, right? But here, okay, let's go with the same pattern only. So I'll remove this. Okay, I'll remove this row. Let's have the same thing that we discussed, so that no one would be confused. 0 comma 4. Okay, and for I j in range 0 comma 4, same row, same column. Okay, what is the condition we have written? If I plus j is greater than equal to 3, then print star. Okay, then print star, else print space. Okay, this is it, right? I think one thing we have missed out, that is the default behavior of print function is to print something and take to the next line. That's why you will get this way. So one thing I have missed out, that is we have to end with, we have to use this end attribute so that it doesn't take the cursor to the next line after printing something. Okay, after printing something, it should not take it to the next line. But yes, after finishing one row, I need to take it to the next line, so you can just have your print. Okay, now let's see whether we are getting this. See guys, we are getting this pattern. Actually, after all, we are getting this pattern. So I just use the same logic. Just use syntax of Python. So once you get a hold of the logic, guys, if you know syntax of any language, you can easily do that. That's my point actually. Okay, that's my point. Yeah, Shravan, obviously, no, we won't be able to complete the entire DSA in 3 days, and even no one is committing that. Okay, if someone is committing that in 3 days, you'll be master of DSA. That is basically nonsense. Yeah, no one can finish up, even if you sit to study by own, even if you are expert in any language, even that would not be suffice. Okay, right? So, see, guys, now then, so This implementation we have already discussed. This same logic we have discussed in C++. I've written the same code in Python syntax. That's it. If you know Python syntax, you can easily apply you can easily apply the logic. Actually, that's what I'm actually trying to say here. So it is not important which language you are actually using. It is more important to understand the logic. That's basically what I'm trying to make you understand here, guys. Okay, so focus more on the logic and less on the syntax, because if you know syntax of any language, you can easily convert that, like you can easily implement that using that syntax. Okay, right? Is this approach clear, guys, to all of you? Is this approach clear? Because I'll be solving one more problem actually. I'll be solving one more problem. I'll be giving you a bit complicated pattern, and you will see how exactly it is worked out. This approach is applied actually. Okay. See, Praveen, again, I'm saying I have not done anything else in the in the Python. Also, I have used the same. I've written the same code. Only thing is, I have used Python syntax. That's it. Okay, I have just used Python syntax. That's it. Nothing else. I have not done anything. I have Farin. I'm also saying that I didn't change the logic. The same logic I used, I've just written in Python. That's all. I'm again repeating, guys. Please do not focus on the syntax. Actually, please focus on the logic. Once you understand the logic, you implement it any language. Implement it in any language that you know. Got it? Okay. Now then, see. Now then, let's work upon one more problem actually, one more pattern actually. Let's see that, and we'll see how we can apply this thing that we discussed. Okay, I think we need to have a separation actually between the things we discussed. Okay, just give me a moment. Yeah, so we have one separation over here. Let's have a separation here. Okay, then the next separation I think we have here, right? Yeah, so I'll just drag this line bit of right side. Now I'll be using this right side space, this space actually. Okay. Yeah, let's try to understand this question, guys. So I have this, then I have this. Okay, right. Okay, then I have, let me check once. Yeah, this is the pattern I'm asking you to print actually. Okay, this is the pattern we have been given to print. How would you do this? How would you apply, how would you apply that logic here, and how would you basically do this? Okay, right? Manar, see, while writing the logic, I'm actually writing the code. So I think I'm already helping you out there in the code itself. Okay. See, you are coming to DSS session, so I think you at least know the basic construct of the language, like loop, how loop works. Okay, that is not supposed to be taught in this session at least. Okay, but yes, I'm trying my best so that you understand whatever I'm writing. So as you see here, I'm writing the code, entire code actually here, and I think you know how the for loop works. Okay, it's just the logic, the condition, wherever I and j, the condition will meet, wherever the condition will meet, it will print star. Whenever the condition will not meet, it will print space. That's what I have written here. Okay, right? Now, yeah, this is the pattern we have been given, guys. So how do we approach this pattern? How do we do this? How do we do this? How to print this pattern? Again, guys, see, this have been already asked in few companies. I have seen the questions. This have been already asked in the few companies, this question. Okay, see, they will they will mix up some problem. Like they would give you some pattern which will involve integers. Okay, right, deserts you can say, which will consider only star, or sometimes they mix up. They give you like kind of this. Also, they give you this one star, two star, two. They also give you three this, 4 star 4. Okay, this kind of this way also they might give. So this is not a big problem. You first understand how to print this kind of pattern, because this actually is this kind of pattern, right? Already we know how to print this pattern. Then you just have to print, okay, digit and star. You have to print digit and star, 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 digit and star. How to how do we know that, okay, how to print this last thing? Then you have to write one logic, okay, whenever it is the last thing, do not print star, only print the digit, only print the digit. Okay, we will also work on this pattern, guys. Okay, I think most probably in the next session, first I will solve this kind of pattern, this pattern. But right now let's focus on this pattern, how to basically print this pattern given to you. See, again, we are talking about, you are in a actually placement drive, and you are going to like you are in a coding round, guys. Okay, so there is not much of time that you can waste. So even if you think of some ways, okay, it is printing one space here, it is printing two space here, here it is printing three space and all. How about getting this side logic and all? It's very tricky, it will take a lot of time if you go in that manner. So what I'm trying to say is, do not get worried, guys. Please apply the approach that we just discussed actually. That's it. Okay, that's it, nothing else. I think we my system is lagging a bit today. Yep, it's lagging, so I'm unable to. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, at least you are able to see the screen, I think. What I'm trying to say here is, please apply the approach that we discussed. First of all, you split this pattern into two part, in left part and right part. Left part is one pattern, right part is one more pattern. Okay, what I can do, my system is lagging a bit, guys. Please excuse me. So sorry for this. I think that it will not happen in the next session. I'll get it fixed. But yeah. So what I'm saying here is, let's divide this thing into two part. Okay, this is one part, right? And this is one part. Okay, this is one part. So consider that, okay, this is actually a matrix. This is one matrix. This is one part of the pattern. This is another part of the pattern. Please have this. Okay, right? Now, first of all, let's put focus on this part. Can you print this pattern, guys? This pattern is nothing but 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3, 1 2 and 1, right? And what about this pattern, this right side pattern? We already have done, we have done in this class. What about this left side pattern? Can you print the left side pattern? I guess yes, you can do that. It's very easy, guys. You do not have to even think of some logic here. You do not have to like think about some condition here. It is very easy. Only thing is, if you start this thing in a let's say, what can I say? So even if you consider this 0 1 2 3, right? If it is 0 1 2 3, okay, can you come up with this condition of this one? What is this? This is 0 0 1 1 2 2 and 3 3, right? So first, basically for the diagonal it is I equal to j. And what about the other part? What about the other part? This part, what is the logic? What are the position of I and j? Position of I and j, can you please mention, guys? It is 0 1 0 2, and we have 0 3, right? Okay, first row 0 1 this position, 0 2 this position, 0 3 this position. Then we have 1 2 and 1 3, 1 2 and 1 3, row 1 column 3. Okay, row 1 column 2, so 1 2 and 1 3, got it? Then finally this one, what is the position here? 2 3, 2 3. What is the logic here? Who can say what is the logic here, guys? Can anyone please mention the logic here? If you see here, I is always greater than j, right? Okay, 0 is, no, I is not always greater than j. I made a mistake. I think I is less than j. I is always less than j here. Am I correct here, guys? 0 is less than 1, 0 is less than 2, 0 is less than 3, 1 is less than 2, 1 is less than 3, 2 is less than 3. Yep, I is always less than j. So if you combine these two logic, it is I less than equal to j is the condition for this side pattern, the left side pattern. What about right side? This right side, we already know it, we already have done this right side pattern, we already have done this. So let's write the code for this. Let's try to print this pattern. We'll see, guys, we'll solve each half first. Let's focus on the left half, then we'll focus on the right half, and then we will merge them together. Okay, let's quickly get into the code actually. Now then, let me share you the screen. I'll go to the code blocks directly. Yep. So this is a file already we have. So okay, I'll create one more file actually for you. This, I'll say this is the pattern2.cpp file. Fine. So I'll just copy the template out from here. I don't want to write everything from start, so I'll just put a template here. Okay, and then I'll remove this logic, this part. Fine. Okay, I have the template, guys, for the pattern actually. At least for the left side, I have the template with me here. Okay, so the outer loop runs for 4 times, the inner loop runs for the 4 times. Okay, and what is the condition we have met? We have met the condition that if I is greater than equal to j, then please print star. Okay, right? Else we need spaces before that, right? Okay, if you remember, if you recall the pattern, we had spaces on the left side. So else, it's, this is something you should write. Let's actually see whether we are getting the actual result or not. Okay, because we can be wrong also, right? So let's see whether this code is correct. This is whether this code is giving me correct answer or not. Okay, that's something we have to check out here. And it seems it is not giving us the correct result. Okay, how can I show you this screen? Just give me a moment, I'll be resharing the screen. Yeah, can we move to the whiteboard once again, please? Yeah, I just want to make sure if the logic is correct, because with this logic we are actually I'm not getting the this pattern actually. Okay, so we have said I equal to j. Fine, I equal to j is this diagonal, so it is perfect. But the next one, oh, it was I less than equal to j. I messed it up. I think I had written I greater than equal to j. I think I have written I greater than equal to j. I'll just have a look. Yeah, I have written I greater than equal to j, guys. So sorry. I'll just change it, and I'll check it if it is printing. I'll show you the output actually. Okay. Just give me a moment. I'm sharing this output screen with you all. I think we are getting, but yeah, just to make sure, just to show you for confirmation, I'll be showing you the output screen. This is the output, guys. I hope now you're able to see it, all of you. Yeah, Nikita, I just messed it up. Like, I think I had written I greater than equal to j by mistakenly. Yeah, it should be I greater than equal to j. I less than equal to j. Sorry. Yeah, and yes, we are getting this pattern. Okay, so the left side is done. So the left side is already done, guys. Okay, now we have to go for the right side pattern, and right side is something which we already have done. We know this, like right side part we already have coded, so I can just copy the code and paste it there actually, to be very honest. So even I'll be doing the same thing. Code blocks. Okay, I'm there. I hope everyone is able to see the code block screen now. Yeah, thanks Vinay for the quick action. See, guys, what I'll do is I'll comment this part. Okay, I'll comment this part, right? And I'll pull out this logic wherever we have done that. The left side pattern, I think that was if j less than equal to I. Okay, if I'm correct for that pattern, for the left side, I'll just say here, if j is less than equal to I, not left side, right side, guys. So sorry. Yeah, for the right side, it is the same good old like the first pattern that we discussed, right? And for that pattern, we already know the condition. That is, if j less than equal to I, then if you print star, that will print the right side pattern. I'll just quickly show you if we are actually getting the output for the right side or not. Okay, we should definitely get it. We should definitely get it because the same thing that we had written mistakenly also. So yep, guys, I'm not exactly showing you the output, but yes, we are getting that pattern, and this thing we already have worked out, so there is no point of confusion in this part, right? So when you write this condition, it is printing you the right side pattern. Whenever you write this condition, it will print the left side pattern. But how to print them together, that is the question. Okay, how to merge them together? We have to print the left part and right part together. That is the question here. Okay, that is the question. So for an instance here, how do we do that? How do we do that, guys? Okay, now if I take you back to the whiteboard, if I take you back to the whiteboard, guys. Okay, see, a very important discussion I have to make here, that you should know, you should understand. See, guys, here, now whenever we have this pattern, 1 2 3 4 5, right? 5, 1 2. Okay, let's say this is the question we had. I think one more row we have, or this much. Yeah, pretty much this much. Yep. Okay, so even if you consider this is one part and this is another part, whenever you are in this row, whenever you are in this row, guys, whenever you are in this row, what happens? First you print the first row element of first pattern, the left pattern, then you print the rows of the right pattern. For the same row, you have to print all the columns of left side pattern, and then you have to print all the rows in right side pattern. Similarly, whenever you go to second row, you first print all the patterns, all the stars of left side pattern, then you print all the stars of right side pattern. So for each row, you have to print the content of left pattern and right pattern. You print first the left pattern content, then you print the right pattern content. Am I correct, guys? Are you getting my point? Actually, what I'm trying to say here. See, we have two kind of pattern here: one left pattern and right pattern. But the left and right are merged together. Actually, what basically it is done here is, in a particular row, first the left side pattern is printed, then you are going to the right side pattern. Okay, in the next row, first the all the stars in left side pattern is printed, then the stars of right side pattern is printed. So accordingly we are going here. Actually, are you getting it, guys, or not? Please tell me. Can you please tell me, are you getting it or not? Please, can you confirm? Basically, can you please confirm, guys, what I'm trying to say here? We want to merge this two, this left pattern and right pattern together. Right now what we are able to do, we are separately printing the left pattern and we are separately printing the right pattern, but we want to merge them together on the left and right. So for each row we have to print first the content of left side, then the content of the right side. Okay, right? Then we have to, in the next row we have to again print the content of that row of left pattern, then the content of the row of the right pattern, right? So basically, guys, we have to run both the logic. Okay, we have to run both the logic together. After finishing the left pattern, we should go to the right pattern. Got it? Are you able to understand it? Okay, I'll go to the code. Actually, I'll show you a piece of code that I'll edit that code and I'll show you how exactly to do that. Okay, first, for one row, for every row, what we are doing, guys, first we would print the left side pattern. Basically, we will run the loop that is responsible for the left side pattern. Then after printing that, we'll go to the right side pattern. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is I'll take this loop, not maybe, that is what I'm actually going to do here. Okay, so here I'm deleting this stuff. I'm deleting this stuff, guys. Okay. And here I'm deleting this stuff. And to avoid confusion, also for the code to work properly, I'm actually, instead of j, I'm writing k here. I'm taking another variable that is k. Okay, and instead of j, I'm writing here k. Let me explain how exactly this will work, because I'm trying to merge here. See, guys. Now, for I equal to 0, you are in the first row. This j loop will run. What is this loop for? This loop is for the left side pattern. So it will print all the starts for the left side. When you are done with this inner loop, then this loop would run. What this will do? This will print all the starts for the right side. Just consider one iteration and see this. For I equal to 1, j will start from 0 and j will go till 4, right? For the second row we are talking about here, guys, whenever I is less than equal to j, it will print stars. So we'll get the first row, the left side, all the star of the left side pattern, we will get it. Okay, so guys, this loop would be done, this inner loop is done. So when this loop is done, will obviously this loop will start. What is this loop for? This loop is for the right side pattern. So this thing will continue. Okay, whenever for next value of I, first this loop would run. This will print all the content of the left pattern. Then this loop will run. It will print all the content of right pattern. After finishing all the content of right pattern, you go to the next line, because each row now consists of left side pattern and right side pattern. So we are actually running two loops inside the I loop. Okay, inside the I loop, what is I, guys? I is basically for the outer loop. Yeah, that is outer loop that decides the number of rows in each row. Within each row, within that outer loop, one loop is for the content of the left pattern, that is this loop, that is this loop. Okay, after finishing content of the left pattern for that particular row, because we are right now in a particular value of I, guys. For I equal to 0, that means we are in the first row. For first row, this loop would run. That means we'll print all the content of first row of the left side. Okay, when this loop is done, this loop will start running, right? What this means? Then this means you are printing the content of right side pattern for which row? For the first row itself, because we are now inside I equal to 0 loop. When I is 0, when I is 0, first we are printing all the content of left side pattern for the first row, and then we are printing all the content of right side pattern for the first row. Okay, when you are done with all the content of left pattern and right pattern of the first row, then you are going to the next line. Again, then I value would change, I equal to 1. Now we are in second row. Same thing, this will print all the content of the left side pattern for the second row. Then this loop would run. This will print all the content of the right side pattern for the second row. Okay, are you getting it, guys? Are you getting the thing? How I have merged actually? But this seems easier, right? At least you can approach. What we have done, we actually, first of all, we have broken down the pattern into two parts. We have broken down the pattern into two parts. One is left and right. We have separately worked on the left side pattern, and we have separately worked on the right side pattern, and then we merge them together. Okay, it is horizontal merging. So we do this way. If at all, if you get a vertical merging kind of, let's say, if I show you an example here, see, guys, if you ever get this pattern, let's say, okay, yeah, let's say this pattern, if ever you get this pattern, how will you solve this? Actually, you, it is again very easy. You divide it into two part. One is the top part, this is the top half, then you divide it into the second half. Okay, top and bottom. So how would you write the loop for this? It's again very easy, guys. For the top, okay, for the top you will have one nested loop. Okay, for the top part you will have one nested loop that will print all the content of the top part. After finishing printing all the content of top part, you have one more loop. You should have one more loop which will print all the content of the bottom half. See, this is vertical merging. So one nested loop for the top part and one nested loop for the bottom part. But the previous one was horizontal merging that we discussed. That was horizontal merging. That's why what we have done is inside one row or inside the outer loop, we have two nested loop, two inner loops that will print the content of first pattern and then right, like left pattern and then right pattern. But here the loop, the pattern is different. In this case, this pattern is different. We need all these things first. Below that, I need all this. So there is no need of horizontal merging. I can focus on one thing first, then the next thing then. Okay, that's why you got this structure of nested loop. First, this nested loop will print all the content of the top half. Then the next nested loop will print all the content of the bottom half. This is how you are going to merge, guys. Okay, this is how you are going to merge actually. Okay, right? Like, are you clear, guys, how we are merging here? In case of horizontal merging, what we are doing? In case of horizontal merging, in inside outer loop, okay, whenever you are in one row, let's say I equal to 0, where you are in the first row, like where you are in the first row. For the first row, this loop will print all the content of left pattern for that first row. Okay, when you are done with that, okay, this loop is over. Then you go to the next loop, this one, the k loop. What this will do, this will print all the content of the right side pattern. For which row? For the same row, because we are right now in I equal to 0 iteration. Actually, we are in I equal to 0. Now you are done with the content of the second side, like right side pattern for the ith, not ith, basically the 0th row. Then you go to the next line, because 0 row is done, first row content are printed. Go to the next line. Fine, you go to the top. Now the next iteration, now I is 1. So basically you are now in second row. For second row, this loop will print all the content of the left side pattern for that row. Okay, then this, after this loop, the second loop, this one, this will print all the content of the right side pattern. Okay, for which row? Second row only, because we are now within I equal to 1 loop iteration. Okay, and how this condition work, we already have discussed. This condition will work for the right side pattern. We have discussed already how it will work, and this side will print the left side pattern that we have already discussed. If you want me to write down the pattern, show you the pattern again, it was okay. I think this kind of this way it was, right? Yeah, this was the pattern actually. This was the left half. See, for the first row, the first inner loop will print this part. Okay, or I can say, rather I can say the j loop. The k loop will print this. Then go to the next row. For I equal to 1, this part would be printed by the j loop, and this part would be printed by the k loop. Okay, then let's go to the next row. I equal to 2. Now here this would be printed by the jth loop, or j loop you can say, and this part will be printed by the k loop. Why I'm saying j loop, k loop? Because there are two inner loop, guys. This is the j loop, I have taken j variable, and this is the k loop, I have taken k variable. Okay, my point here is, did you understand how to merge the pattern actually? Is if it is vertical merging, if it is horizontal merging. If it is vertical merging, you know how to, like, what to do exactly. Okay, I have already mentioned the loop structure. This should be the loop structure. Okay, this should be the loop structure, one part then other part. For horizontal merging, this should be the structure. Inside the outer loop, we have two inner loop. Okay, anyway guys, this pattern I'll discuss tomorrow, so that you will also have an example of vertical merging. This example is of horizontal merging. Okay, this example that we would discuss tomorrow would be an example of vertical merging, how you can print, how you can merge two vertical pattern. Okay, or how you can merge two pattern vertically. Okay, so always try to break down patterns into simple individual thing, and you will end up having a simple pattern. Please apply the logic that we discussed, please apply that trick. Okay, please assume that is a matrix, it is a matrix, and please find out a relation between I and j and accordingly work out. Tomorrow I'm going to discuss this version, sorry, vertical merging, how to pattern to two patterns we will merge them vertical. Okay, right? Okay, so I hope guys you understood the approach, the trick actually we are using here. Anyway, I will be writing, I will be writing one more code, one more pattern actually tomorrow. So I hope you join that session, do not miss out, because your like idea about this, your concept about this would be clarified more actually when you do, when you see one or two more problem actually. You want to show the you want me to show the output? Yep, I'll do that. For that I have to cut this down actually, or let it be, I'll just comment it out. Okay, rather, also I would have to comment the this part. Yeah, I think now our code will work fine. Let me show you the output and we will end today's session after that. Yeah, see this guys. Okay, we are getting the output, right? The pattern, we're getting that pattern, right? Okay, this pattern. Understood? Yep. Okay. So this is the thing, guys. This is the thing which I was trying to like fill in with you. The idea, the approach, actually, how you can actually do this. Okay. Right. So tomorrow, what we will do is we would see one or two more pattern, and we will apply the same approach. Basically, you need to understand how merging happens, how we merge actually. Splitting is a fine. We can see, visualize, and we can split up. But after splitting up, how do you merge them together? That is actually important. Okay, right? Yeah, I'll be sharing this code. Output, you can run the code and you can get it. I'll just share the code, guys, that we have discussed today. I'll share the code with you in the community. I'll post it, you can get it there. Okay, please do join the community if you have not, so you can get all the materials out there. I'll be filling it, I'll be sharing it very soon, just after this session. So yeah, I'll just have my dinner and I'll post it in the community, guys. Okay, don't you worry, just check out the community and you will get all the materials, this codes and all. So that's it for today, guys. Let's meet tomorrow, let's meet tomorrow at the same time actually, at 8:30, and we will do some more coding problems there. Okay, till then, please take care, guys, please practice it. Bye bye, goodbye, take care.
Hey, hi guys, this is Cyclone from LetsUpgrade, and I have a great opportunity for all of you guys to win 2000 rupees giveaway every week. So, how? Just go and follow us on Instagram, nothing else. Every week, we are announcing lucky winners for following us on Instagram and giving them 2000 rupees worth of giveaways. It can be a Puma t shirt, it can be a Puma shoes, it can be Amazon Eco. Now, why should you follow us on Instagram? Number one, just go and follow so that you will be eligible for this giveaway. Number two, you will be seeing top-notch content from tech news, meme stack, and be in this developer community of Let's Upgrade, and just on a way to like be a top-notch developer.